Hello chessmates, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to analyze a very special game. This is the super classic Lasker versus Thomas 1912. So let's start. Lasker plays d4 and then Thomas plays f5. We have Dutch defense on the board. In this moment white plays e4 and this is Staunton gambit. I want to make a pause here because I want to say that this Staunton gambit is really interesting. This is a very nice opening, mostly for blitz game. If you're having some trouble against Dutch, well then this Staunton gambit is going to be really interesting. You can get some very nice dynamic positions with this line, so I really recommend it. Even more if you are playing blitz, it's going to be a very nice opening. So in this moment black takes the pawn, accepts the gambit. That's the main option here. And Lasker continues with knight c3, black goes knight f6, and then bishop g5. This is a theoretical position. In this moment black plays e6, but I want to show you one small trick here. A lot of players like this move here in this position, d5. This is a very common mistake. Actually, that's a bad move. Of course, it's very logical because you are protecting the pawn you got in the gambit. But in this moment, white can just play bishop takes knight, and after pawn takes, there is this check. Black can block, but then queen takes pawn. And in this position, white is better if black trades queens. Look at this. We are threatening two pawns, so we are getting one of them. So this position is very good for white. So yeah, this is the first trick you can find, or one of the main tricks there are in this line. So in this moment, after bishop g5 in the game, as I said, d5 is logical, but it's a mistake. So Thomas just plays e6 here, and then, well, there is a pin here, so now white can just capture the pawn on e4. The bishop comes to e7. Now the knight is hanging, so Lasker has to trade here. He's giving the bishop, so it's trading the bishop for a knight, but remember the knight is very good defending here, so actually it's a nice trade. Also remember this bishop is coming over here, creating some threats on that square h7, so the knight on f6 is really important on this line. So bishop takes, then knight f3, just developing, black castles, and then bishop d3, just as we said, pointing the king side. Black plays here b6, and then when I think the most logical move should be something like castling king side, or maybe some move queen d, or maybe e2. Well, when those were probably the most logical moves, Lasker just decides to start improving the pieces and creating some really interesting threats. He plays here knight e5. The idea is that now the knight is a little better, but also the queen may come very quickly to create danger, and then there could be many pieces, queen, two knights, and a bishop, pointing and controlling the squares around black king. So this is a little risky, but at the same time very aggressive. In this moment Thomas plays bishop b7. Actually bishop b7 is not the best move. The best move in this moment was just trade the bishop for the knight. After d takes, then he could play knight c6, attacking the pawn on e5, and this position should be more or less fine for black here. Notice that a move like queen h5 is not working because black can play rook f5, getting threatening queen and pawn. So black will get the pawn, and when the knight comes here, will be creating threats, or at least removing or trading the powerful bishop here. So yeah, the attack would not be so strong in this line. So that was the best way to play bishop takes and knight c6, and probably black is not in a bad position here. But in this moment, instead of just trading, he plays bishop b7. And well, of course, Lasker continues with his plan. He plays here queen h5. Now there are some threats, because notice that we can capture here on f6 with check. It means that we can take then on h7. So at least this is a threat, at least. Now you will see that actually there are more threats than only that one. So in this moment, Thomas plays queen e7. We will talk about that now. But actually queen e7 is a mistake. The best move here was, again, trading here on e5. If the pawn takes, again, black can play rook f5, and after queen g4 rook takes e5. This position is fine for black. So actually after bishop e5, the engine is suggesting this strange but interesting move. Knight d2, threatening mate here with bishop. Yeah, for example, if in this position black plays something like bishop f6, there's mate in 3. Bishop check, and queen checkmate. By the way, this is a typical pattern we need to remember. Sometimes we don't mate when we take with the queen because the king escapes, but we can do it in the other way. We take with the bishop first, then we make sure that we control the square of the escape, and then we can mate. So yeah, let me repeat it: check, check, and mate. Okay, so in that position, after knight d2, threatening mate over here, and also threatening the bishop, black could play maybe g6, and then queen takes bishop. And this is a complicated position here. It's not clear who's better. So that was the best in this moment. After queen h5, again, I'm going to say he needed to take on e5, and then that's the line we just saw. But in this moment, black just plays queen e7. The idea is that he wants to protect h7 with the queen. Notice that now after something like knight takes bishop, black can just capture with the pawn, and then the queen protects over the second rank, the h7 square. So that's the idea with this move. But the problem is that in this moment there is one of the greatest combinations I have seen in chess. In this position, it is white to move. There is mate in 8 moves. So there is a forced mate in 8 moves here. So you pause the video if you want, try to analyze and work a little by yourself, and I will say the answer or what happened in the game in some seconds. Okay, in this position, Lasker plays a beautiful queen sacrifice. He plays here queen takes h7. The idea is that he wants to attract the king here because there will be a very strong discovery, and then he will have 3 minor pieces attacking the king, and there are many weaknesses over here. So let's see. Of course Thomas needs to take, and then we have knight takes bishop, discovered check, and also double check. We have check with knight and check with bishop. Here black has 2 options. He can go to h8 or h6. The problem when black king goes to h8 is that there is mate in 1 with knight g6. So that move doesn't work, and that's why in the game Thomas goes up to h6. Then Lasker continues with knight from e to g4. This is a forced sequence. The only move for black in this moment is king g5. Then white plays h4. Again, there is only one move for the king, f4. Then Lasker plays g3, and the only move for black is king f3. White can play now bishop e2. Again, only one option. Let me say something. In the game we have bishop e2. Actually king f1 is also winning, controlling g2. Everything is controlled around the king. So in the next move there will be mate with bishop e2 or knight h2. So this move king f1 is also winning here. Of course that's not my favorite. My favorite is the one we have in the game, bishop e2. This is a forced variation. Always it is better to win in a forced line than in a mate net, because of course our opponent might have something we are missing. So bishop e2, the only move is king g2, and then rook h2, only move is king u1, and in the game we have king d2. This is going to be mate. I wonder why he didn't castle here with mate. That looks better, but yeah, it's the same, just king d2 and checkmate. So this is the mate e moves I said. Let's repeat it very quickly. Queen sacrifice first, then we extract the king, and we take it to some unsafe squares in the middle, and then all our pieces are creating threats, and then we have the mate with king d2. So this is the game I wanted to show you today. I hope you have enjoyed it and that you have learned something new here. If it was like that, give me likes. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next.